So today is, what day is today? Tuesday, April 8th. And yesterday was pretty crazy day. We had, in the morning, we almost got to that limit down. I said that was gonna be support because nobody wants to get trapped on a limit down market. Then at some point there was some rumors, and it was an insane price action. Like I don't think I've ever seen something like this. It was ridiculous. It was like I guess everybody was short and got squeezed, and we did like 400 points in like a few minutes on ES, and like over 1,000 on Nasdaq, like 1,500 I think, or 1,400. And then it was just based on rumors, and then once the traders realized that it was rumors, then we started coming down again. We found a lot of sellers here, and then we spent the rest of the day balancing, and then attempting to move higher at the end of the session after testing value area low. And then overnight, we were balancing above yesterday's value area high. You can see that all this happened above it, right? So we have, first of all, we have inventory that's 100% long today, which I didn't mention in the notes, I should have, but we have inventory 100% long. So correction of inventory will bring us down back to 50.97, which is where yesterday's settlement is, and it's very close to the point of control from yesterday. So, but now, if you look at the overnight session, we had a pretty strong breakout here, with pretty bullish order flow and a lot of strength, and we're leaving single prints here. So that's the first area that I'm interested in looking at the reaction once the market opens. Are we gonna hold this single print and then keep attempting to start balancing, because we've been one time framing down for a few days? So is this the day that we start balancing? And then attempt to get inside this gap. Yesterday NQ did that. NQ started getting inside the gap, but immediately got rejected. So NQ is starting to balance. ES hasn't started yet, but it's looking like it wants to. So the scenarios are, the first thing is look at the single prints, right? Single prints hold, then I'm staying long until I see that we take one of these highs or both highs, and then if I see that we leave more single prints, then I'll stay long, or I'll add to my long trade, and then see if we can fill that gap, right? I know it's far away, but it's that's we've had huge ranges, so it's possible that we fill the gap today. If and of course, if we keep squeezing, then we have two more sets of single prints up here, and then value area, which I will be looking for a sweep of value if we get above value area high on this day. But I'm still looking at the gap as my final target. Now, if we take these highs, or if we take the single print and start moving down, there's going to be some support during the overnight session, but so I'm going to watch this. I'm not interested in trading in here in this area, but if we start getting below and start trading inside yesterday's value area high, then I'll be looking for a short back to, first of all, that 51.10 point of control, and then a value area sweep with the targets would be that the overnight low, the 5110, then the yesterday's point of control, then the previous week's low, and then the targets that I posted, and then eventually my last target would be value area low. From there, I would likely be looking for more balance, and then see if there's a breakout or below value and an attempt to come back to that 49.30 that was the 2-year point of control. I think that's about it. And like I said earlier, the difference in NQ is that we still have similar structure here, but the difference is that yesterday this high took the previous day's high. So technically NQ, it's in a 2-day balance. So, and you see how it attempted to fill the gap, but I mean, to get inside the gap, we filled a little bit of it, but we still have about 3/4 of that gap that were not filled yet, right? And in the middle, so I'm looking for gap fill, but I'm very aware that this is where shorts are gonna be. You can see that there's the monthly VWAP here, there's a weekly pivot point, there's these two highs, there's the gap, there's so like I'm thinking that even if we get into the gap, we can see some initial rejection of it. So but if buyers keep pushing, those shorts are gonna get squeezed, and then we're gonna fill the gap pretty quickly, I think. Crude, so yesterday had when we had those news, it pushed to remember I mentioned that 62 target. Holy shit, what happened here? We just had some nice push. I don't know if there was news or something just happened. Let me check. I don't see anything, but anyway, what I was saying is that crude took that hit that 62 level on that push, and then came back down. So the 62 keeps being a magnet, and you can see that we're in balancing in this range. Can you see my screen? Yeah. We're balancing this range. 64 to 65 is resistance right now, this area. Okay, and then gold. Let's make this a little bigger so we can see what's going on with gold. So gold, after making new highs, right? So this was the highs. There was a little bit of 3,200 was the highs. It pulled back. It started extending. You see how like we had this small ranges, and then all of a sudden we started getting more volatility, right? So there it is. That's the news. Trump is saying that China wants to make a deal. Anyway, we came back down here to the bottom of that 20-day range, and then now we're moving back above. So this area right here, the 5-day point of control, is at 3060. That's a magnet right there. That's so I'm thinking that now that we tested this area where I remember I was saying yesterday, this is where we broke out of in the past, right? So we had this consolidation, broke above, then we retested it, and now we're starting to move up again, rejecting this area. So I'm thinking that gold has some room to move to the upside considering that it has all this big range, right? So at least 3060 initial target, and then some resistance at 3100. But I think that we can move easily 30-40 points and go. Okay, we have some auctions at 1 p.m. today, and some White House press briefing at 1 p.m. also, so probably that's gonna move markets. And then Fed speaking at 2 p.m. So, and like I said yesterday, keep an eye on the news, because this whole tariffs thing is still ongoing. All right, good luck.